Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is September, fall is right around the corner. I wanted to start doing some fall makeup looks. Today I just wanted to sit down and get ready with you. I used a bunch of drugstore and affordable makeup products, some new, some that I've had in my collection for a while. I used the ColourPop, it's a mood palette, and got kind of like this peachy, orangey, pink look, which isn't necessarily the most fall look I've ever done, but I do have quite a few fall looks planned coming up soon. I want to do something with bold lips and then another one with like smoky, colorful eyeshadows, so stay tuned for those. But in the meantime, I just thought I would kind of do like an everyday glam look using a bunch of my favorite just affordable makeup products. So I hope you guys enjoy today's video. Let's jump into it and I'll show you how I got this look. So I'm going to start with the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer. I've been talking about this a lot on my channel lately. It's a really nice formula and I think it will be one of my go-to formulas as we head into the fall season. It's a really thin, lightweight primer that definitely has more of a hydrating feel to it. It provides a slightly tacky base. I've been trying out a lot of these gripping primers lately, and some of them are definitely more sticky than others. If you want one that's slightly tacky but not as sticky as maybe the e.l.f. Jelly Pop, because I've been testing that out lately too, this one will be a good option for you. For foundation, I'm going to be going in with the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I have the shade 030 Neutral Sand. I think I tried this foundation for the first time back in the spring, and I have been loving it ever since. And again, I think it's just going to be such a nice option as we head into the fall season. It is called a hydrating foundation, but I don't find it to be overly hydrating by any means. It definitely has more of like a natural satin finish to it, but it provides really, really good coverage and just stays in place well. So for me, because I do have oily skin, sometimes it's a nice alternative to a really mattifying foundation. I do love matte foundations, but I've really been enjoying this formula a lot because it blends out well, it stays in place so well, and right now I am dealing with some breakouts, a little bit of scarring left over from previous breakouts. So I like that this just covers everything and you don't have to go in and spot conceal either before or after. By the way, I am using an IT Cosmetics brush right now to blend this out. I've really been loving this one again. I will list all of the brushes that I use in the description box below. I'm using all drugstore and affordable products in today's video, except for the fact that I don't think I have all drugstore and affordable brushes because one of my goals this weekend is to wash some of my makeup brushes. So that's what the foundation looks like. It has a really pretty finish. I am going to set mine, but first I'm going to go in with concealer. So this one is from J.Cat Beauty. Is the focus going to go? I have it on the setting where it's supposed to track my face so it doesn't always pick up products, but this is the Staysurance concealer and I have the shade Custard, which might be just a little bit too light. I've only used this one other time, but ever since I tried the J.Cat Beauty palettes that I've been loving, I've definitely been curious to try out more products from the brand just as a whole. They have quite a few products and they are definitely one of the more affordable brands on Ulta's website, so I definitely want to pick up a few more if you guys have any other recommendations. I'm just going to use the other side of this brush. I can't find the concealer brush that I normally use, but what are you guys up to this weekend? I am uploading this video on Friday, so it's the last day before the weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. So do you guys have a 3-day weekend? Are you off work? Brady and I were maybe going to do something fun and get away, but we actually have some fun things going on at home, some family things. My nieces actually start soccer this weekend. It's their first soccer game. They are 3 and 4, so it's going to be so cute. So I didn't want to miss that. And then there is like a local food festival happening. It was canceled last year and everything is outside so you can obviously spread out and distance, so they are going to have it this year, which is always fun. And then Brady and I do have a few things around the house that we've been needing to do, so I think we're going to take advantage of the longer weekend and get a couple of things done. But this seems to be a little bit more of a lightweight concealer. I would say that it has more of a medium coverage finish. Like it definitely brightens the under eye. It blends out well. We'll just see if it stays in place well. I'm just going to set that into place and then I'll be right back. Okay, it's been a few minutes. I got distracted answering some emails, so I just want to make sure my foundation isn't creasing. It really doesn't crease very badly, which is surprising to me. I like to usually just set my foundation immediately because I do have fine lines and texture, and I feel like most foundations end up creasing on me, but this one just wears really well. So I am going to go in and set it with a powder. This is from NYX. It is the Can't Stop, Won't Stop powder, and I have the shade Light. I'm just going to take this on a beauty sponge and really set any areas that do tend to get oily or crease on me, which for me, I am noticing more fine lines on my forehead these days. Whenever I make like a face like this, my foundation will kind of move throughout the day. So I'm just going to set that. I'm also going to set my nose and right under my eyes. That's where I tend to get oily. Now, I have reviewed this powder on my channel, and I mentioned that when you initially apply it, it looks pretty dry. It gives your skin a really matte finish to the point where it almost looks too dry. But for me, that works because within an hour, my skin really starts to get oily. And once that happens, the powder looks a little bit more natural on the skin. I'm getting it all in my hair. So I would say if you have dry skin or normal skin, this might not be the most ideal powder for you. If you have oily skin, you're going to love it because not only does it keep your skin matte, it just kind of smooths over the skin. And I feel like it wears really well throughout the day. So after an hour or two, my skin looks even better than it does when I initially set my foundation. It's also really affordable. I do feel like NYX is one of the more expensive drugstore brands. So whenever I see a new product, I'm always expecting it to be within like the $12 to $17 price tag. But I do think they've been releasing some more affordable options lately. So I'm just using the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I'm just running this through my brows to enhance them a little bit. And then I'm going to let this dry while I just prime my eyelids for eyeshadow. For the eyes, I'm going to be using the ColourPop It's a Mood palette. This is so gorgeous, so perfect for the fall. I'm just going to set my eyeshadow primer into place with the shade Bonafide. So I used this palette yesterday. I did a really like olive toned green look, and the shadows blended so beautifully. I'll put a clip of the video where I wore this on the screen for you guys. Everything blended so nicely, so perfectly. So I do want to try it out a few more times before I do my final review. Let's start with the shade Crave You, which is just like a warm orangey tone, which I think will be nice as a transition color. I don't typically love these super large palettes from ColourPop, but this one just caught my attention immediately. I just think it has the perfect balance of neutrals and jewel tones, and everything in it just screams fall to me. So I just couldn't wait to actually use it and apply the shadows on the eyes. And so far, I've just been impressed by the quality. So I'm going to do everything on the right eye and then do the left eye off camera just to save a little bit of time. Okay, that shadow blended out in 2 seconds, super smooth. I'm going to go in with the shade Everywhere, which is like a lighter pinky tone, and I'm just going to work that in the crease just to incorporate a little bit of pink. I'm just going to end up kind of blending them together just so everything looks really smooth and even. These mattes are definitely blendable. Now this palette does come with 3 pressed glitters, so I just wanted to note that in case you are not a fan of the pressed glitters, but the rest of the shades are mattes, metallics. I think there are a couple of duochromes too. I'm going to take the same fluffy brush and the color It's a Rush, which is a little bit of a like deeper orange, and I'm really going to focus this into the crease. I don't want to blend it too high, like up into the transition. I'm just going to darken up the crease a little bit. This is such a fall color, like such a pumpkin color. I definitely want to put out some fall decorations this weekend. I don't have too many, but I have accumulated like the assortment of pumpkins over the years. So I might put a couple in my background here, a couple in my living room. I'm ready for fall. For a while I was like, no, I want summer to stay forever. It's just such a dreary, rainy day today that I just want to like lay on the couch with a book and burn a fall candle. Do you guys have any good book recommendations that you've been loving lately? I would love to know. You guys always give such good recommendations. I'm going to go in with the shade Fascination. This is like a deeper berry tone. Sometimes these shades can be just a little bit streaky, so I'm not sure how this one is going to apply yet. So I'm going to start by just kind of like packing it on the outer corner, and then I will lightly blend it up into the crease. It's a really pretty color. It definitely has a good amount of pigment. So I'm just going to stick with this technique, and then I will lightly blend it into the crease. But I'm not going to be too precise because I'm going to end up placing a metallic shadow all over the lid. So that will kind of cover any of the patchiness that I might have if it doesn't blend well. Seems to be blending well though. Ooh, I love this color combination. Something about this kind of screams like a more summery sunset look to me, but it also feels like a good fall look. I don't know. I feel like it's maybe a good summer transitioning into fall look. I'm just going to go back in with that lightest orange and just kind of blend that up into, well, as a transition color again, just to kind of bring some more of that orange back out. I'm not really experiencing any fallout except right here. But not on the rest of my face, which is good. And then I'm just going to go back in with the pink shade and just kind of work that up a little bit too. just to make sure everything looks well blended. I think that looks pretty good for now. I will clean it up in just a second, but for the lid, I think I'll go in with the shade Full Circle. I don't know how vibrant this is going to be. We'll try it out. It's kind of like a lighter bronzy tone. It's not too colorful, so I feel like it will pull the look down a little bit and make it maybe slightly more wearable, especially if you are intimidated by color. This is kind of like a softer satin shade, not a super intense metallic. So I've been playing around with press-on nails. These are by the brand Static Nails. I talked about them in my August favorites, and I love them. They stay in place so well. I've had this set on for like a week and a half, but it is harder to use eyeshadow with like your fingers, and I always do my eyeshadow with my fingers. These aren't even super long nails or anything like that, but I definitely prefer to apply my shimmer shadows with my finger compared to a brush. For eyeliner, I'm going to be using the Essence Eyeliner Pen. This is supposed to be waterproof. I tried this a long time ago. It has a felt tip on it, so it's not quite as flexible as a brush tip, which I typically prefer, but they sent this to me in the mail with a couple of other products, so I thought I would try it again because it's been a while. So I'm just going to apply this. I feel like I apply felt tip liner a little bit differently. I just kind of like lightly press it onto my eye rather than like pulling and tugging, because it doesn't normally glide as smoothly. So I'm just going to apply this to my eyes. This one is super intense, really vibrant. And then I am going to just wing this out. I'm just going to take some concealer and clean that up a little bit, but that actually went on really nicely. I didn't have any issues applying that. I was actually able to get just like a very subtle, sharp wing with this. And I feel like whenever I do my eyeliner, my wing gets out of hand so quickly. So this might be a good option if you like more of a precise application and you don't need something that just like glides onto the eyes. It does glide on somewhat easily for a felt tip. I just prefer to like actually press it on, if that makes sense. So let me just clean up a little bit of the fallout, and then I'll come back to do my brows and finish the eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm going to fill in my brows, and then I will come back and finish up the eyeshadow. So I'm just using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I have the shade Espresso, and I'm just going to define the bottom of my brows and then lightly fill them in. I love this brow pencil so much. I used my other one up, and then I didn't have this one for a little while, and I missed it because I think it just does such a good job. And I think it's maybe like $10. I'm just going to go in with the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen, and I have the shade Espresso. And I'm just going to run this through my brows just to define them a little bit more and darken them up a little bit. I think I might choose a lighter shade once I run out of this one. I feel like sometimes I can be a little bit heavy-handed with this, and I love this product because it does help draw those hair-like strokes, but it can be a little bit easy to go overboard, and the brow tint pen doesn't have a spoolie, so I usually just take the spoolie from the brow pencil and kind of go over any areas where I might have been a little bit heavy-handed, and it will usually just brush right out. Okay, let's go back to the eyes. I'm going to take the shade It's a Rush, which is the darker orange, and I'm just going to blend this on the lower lash line. I don't know what color eyeliner to use on my waterline. I think I might just take this Urban Decay eyeliner in Love Drug, which is a berry tone. This is not a drugstore makeup product. This color is not from the drugstore. I'm not trying to cheat. I just don't actually have a ton of drugstore liners. I do have my ColourPop liners. I guess I could have used one of those, but I just grabbed like this little container of my most used eyeliners. So in here I have some of the Too Faced Killer liners, the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencils, the NYX Epic Wear eyeliners, which I love, but I only have like a blue, a white, and an olive. And then I have some of these LA Girl Shockwave liners. So those are my favorite eyeliner formulas for the waterline. I actually get that question a lot. The only issue with the LA Girl ones and the NYX ones is they don't have as many shades as like Urban Decay. And I've just had a lot of Urban Decay liners in my collection for a long time, so I just have a larger selection. But I actually prefer the LA Girl liners to Urban Decay. I think they stay in place better. So I'm just going to take the shade Bonafide and just lightly apply that on my brow bone. Nothing too intense, just something to lightly brighten it up. Before I apply mascara, I'm going to go in with the Essence What the Fake. This is a lip plumper. just to prep my lips for lipstick. I like this formula because it's not too intense. It doesn't sting your lips in a really uncomfortable way. There is a little bit of like a tingly feel to it, but it's not unpleasant. For mascara, I'm using the Essence Lash Princess Curl and Volume Mascara, which has been my absolute favorite. You guys, this mascara builds so well. It gives your lashes a ton of drama. It makes them look thick and voluminous. It curls them. It gives them length. Like, it really is my go-to, just all around mascara. I'm going to show you guys how well this builds up. So let me just apply a few coats of it. Here's what my lashes look like after one coat. It is a pretty wet mascara, so it does build really easily, which is nice because you can make it look so dramatic. Okay, here is the second coat. I'm going to put on a third coat and show you guys the final result. Okay, so this is what the mascara looks like. I just applied it to the other eye and on my bottom lashes. It's such a good dramatic mascara. I feel like it just layers really well. It can have a tendency to look a little bit clumpy, but definitely not too bad. Now, the only thing is that it takes a long time to dry down. So if you are waiting for it to dry and you're like looking all around, sometimes it will transfer a little bit. I can see a little bit right here. That might actually be from me applying it. Actually, I do see a little bit up here too. So usually that is something to just note. I'll just kind of clean up any extra transfer before I leave, but I just love it. I think it applies so well. Okay, let's finish up the face. So for bronzer, I'm just using the Milani Baked Bronzer. I'm just going to take it on this large fluffy brush and apply it. Just going to blend it on my cheeks and then also on my forehead as well. I'm not going to apply too much though. What is your favorite bronzer of the moment? I would love to know. I'm really enjoying, well, I always enjoy this one, but I also like the LYS bronzer for when I want more of a matte finish. That one is really nice. I'm also going to be using a Milani product for blush. This is the Baked Blush in the shade Berry Amore. I just think that this is such a pretty color for the fall. It can be built up to be a little bit more intense on the cheeks, so I'm just going to apply a little bit. I don't want the focus to really be on the cheeks today. I just want them to complement the eyes. For highlight, I kind of want to try this one. I feel like it might be a little bit too intense for me. This is the Catrice More Than Glow highlighter, and this one's in the shade Supreme Rose Beam. It's supposed to melt perfectly into the skin and give you an intense metallic glow. I'm not usually super big on metallic highlighters, but I thought maybe if I went in with like a really small amount, it would look good. My camera just cut out, but I barely put any on the brush because I'm just kind of nervous it's going to be too much. That's pretty. I tend to avoid like over the top reflective highlighters because I do have texture on my cheeks, but I do think it looks pretty if you use a fluffier brush and just really like lightly apply it. I'm also going to take this on like a really dense brush and just place it in the inner corner and see if I can get more of an intense appearance. I know the inner corner highlight isn't as popular these days, but I still love it. I think it looks so pretty, especially if you have a little bit more of a dramatic look going on. I don't know, I'm still into it. It's like one of those old school makeup tricks, or I guess like technically like out of style makeup tricks that I still love. It's interesting when it comes to makeup trends because they do change so much. And you know, it's crazy because as with anything, we all find things that we love and we enjoy and we don't want to let go of. And I don't think you should have to, because once you find a technique or a product that works well for you and you like it and you feel good, I feel like you should be able to embrace it as long as you want. But I also think it can be fun to embrace the trends and try something different. I know like lighter, more natural makeup is really in style these days, and I have been doing a lot of that, a lot more than I used to, and I'm all for it because I can be really lazy with my makeup some days, but sometimes I just like more of a full glam look too. So a couple of things, I just took off that lip plumper because I'm going to apply lipstick, and then I'm just going to place a little bit of concealer on that freckle on my nose. That's just something I like to do if I'm doing more of a full coverage look. So I'm going to let that dry for a second, and then I'll go over it with a little bit of powder. So a bunch of you guys were recommending the LA Girl lip liners, so I decided to pick up a couple. I got the Shockwave Nude Lip Liner in the shade Sandstorm, which I think is going to go really well with the lipstick that I chose. So I'm just going to use this to line my lips. Okay, so this is a really creamy formula. It just glides on super easily. So if that's what you're looking for in a lip liner, then I think you would really like this formula. So for lipstick, I want to use these new Milani matte lipsticks. I reviewed these recently, so I have the shades Tease, which is kind of like a nude, a lighter nude, and then also Pleasure, which is like a pinky nude. I think I'm actually just going to combine them. Both colors will go well. I'm going to use a lip gloss on top. just because I'm not big into like a super matte finish these days. But I feel like it is a nice option if you like a matte lipstick because it doesn't feel super uncomfortable on the lips and it looks really matte. Like sometimes lipsticks that come in this bullet form will say they're matte, but they'll look a little bit more satin. These definitely look matte on the lips. I think I'll actually just stick with this color. This one is 410 Pleasure. That's what I'm wearing. And then on top, I want to use the NYX Butter Gloss. This one is in the color Angel Food Cake. I used to love these so much. I had so many of them. I remember talking about them in my room that was like pink with the gold hearts on it. And those were like just my favorite YouTube days because that's when I was just really getting into makeup and falling in love with it. So I just loved this formula. It's been so long since I've tried them, so I'm excited to use them again. They just smell so good. They have like a vanilla cake scent and the formula is just so lightweight and beautiful. Okay, I think this is the final look. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I sat down and did my makeup. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I hope you get to relax. I know not everyone gets to take advantage of like the 3-day weekend. So if that is you, I hope that work goes well for you and that people are nice. People have just been so crazy over the past 2 years. So I feel for you if you work in any sort of job where you have to interact with people, which is a lot of us because people have just not been the nicest. So I hope you guys are just having a good start to your September. I'm excited for the fall season. I want to do a few more fall looks. I'll probably do like a colorful smoky eye and then I'll do another look that has more of a bold lip. So stay tuned for those. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you soon with a new one. Bye.